Alright, if the last fucking video worked, and if it didn't, you really should tell me because it's kind of important. But where I left you off from that was fucking Alex Jones saying that he didn't support pretty much criminal justice reform. And if you don't believe me, go to InfoWars website. There is an article on there, and I said a lot of this in the last video, and maybe I got a little bit emotional. But I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, as I was about to say, we all disagree and we all have different opinions. But Alex, from the bottom of my heart to you, here's to you, sucking my dick. You're a scumbag. You know damn well what you're saying is a damn lie. I don't know why you're doing this because it's not even Trump's official standpoint, unless maybe he's giving you a bit of news he's not giving the rest of us. Because one of the reasons a lot of us, including me, supported him over the years was because of criminal justice reform. If he's against that now, good to know he's an asshole too. You're making my decision to vote for a Democrat a hell of a lot easier. But again, bravo, fat bore. All right, on to the next thing. He mentioned we have the worst infant mortality rate in the entire first world, and we're behind like 55 other countries. Now, it's interesting, he makes this entire shit about the vaccinations that we do have to have some level of in order to prevent against dangerous diseases that have all been wiped out since the beginning of these vaccinations. Interesting fact. Gee, I wonder what has happened with the HIV rates since we began circumcising. All right, yeah, that's right. They've not only skyrocketed, we didn't have any until we started doing that in America. And we still have more than the first world, in that it does kill, we know, at least between 50 to 100 children a fucking year. And we also know that circumcision could cause neurological problems that lead to not only autism, but depression and suicide later in life, or in later life. So it's interesting, you don't want to mention that, but you do want to mention motherfucking vaccinations, because everything has to be a one-size-fits-all motherfucking talking points issue with you fucking Republicans, don't it? You're just like the damn Democrats that you talk shit about. You don't want to have, because you don't want to have a real discussion or anything. And at the end of the day, you go back to the same emotional bullshit and censorship and attack mode and labeling and everything else when you don't get what you want. And goddamn it, you can never be wrong, and you're just as ignorant as any of the Democrats or any of the feminists you used to talk about. You're the same damn way. You just waited till you got a Republican in power to fucking say that, and then this fucker gets kicked off the damn YouTube. So all of a sudden he's on his side of the rib. So you start to see what he really believes, because he doesn't have to worry about saying the wrong thing anymore. So all of the bullshit about 9/11 being an inside job, all the bullshit about criminal justice reform, and police brutality, and constitutions, and anything he ever said that was worth a fuck, he throws out the window, and he lets you see the fascist, the big fucking fascist he always was. And by the way, he brings out Chris Christie. It's something about he shouldn't have talked about criminal justice reform, and something about I think it was something about Jared Kushner having all this influence on fucking Trump, right? That was the. Maybe I'll remind you. Chris Christie is the same big fat neoconservative sack of shit that Jones didn't used to like, that was responsible for shutting down major lines of fucking highway in a district that didn't vote for him, even after he won. And he shut down major fucking lanes of highway, probably causing mortalities and everything else, shutting down the entire city as a fucking revenge against his fucking state and his fucking city because he didn't win a fucking election. That's the same big fat fucking piece of shit that did that. That was against, by the way, marijuana or legalization. He was against legalizing weed, and then it caused him. And he even listed self-discipline as a reason. And then he's the biggest fat fuck in the goddamn planet, and he's going to talk to other people about self-discipline. Fuck you. But that's what Jones does. Again, right there, fat bore. Fuck Alex Jones. And then he goes after Greta Thunberg, the Church of Sweden, and he says they're a cult. Gee, I don't know. Is it a cult that goddamn mutilates your kid's dick because goddamn you heard some old fuck goddamn hear voices thousands of fucking years ago, and he also almost killed his kid? Why don't you go to Israel and tell Mossad and some of those fucking people about cults There was one guy that said anyone that wasn't Jewish should be a servant to the Jew. There was a crazy rabbi, and people think we don't know that. Yeah, we have the internet. We know. And that's not a knock on the Jews. The Catholic Church. Look at that crazy ass fucking cult and the child molestation that came out of it. Look at the televangelists. They're pretending to heal people as fucking actors. They're lying to you. They're crooks. The televangelists, the Muslim. You're all crooks. Christianity, Islam, Judaism are all crooked. You're gonna call them a cult because they fucking honored a little girl that's trying to come to America to tell you to stop polluting and destroying your fucking environment? Are you on crack? Again, Lisa Simpson, you're not in Springfield anymore. You're in fucking Crazyville. You're in Crazyfield. What was that city on the other side of Springfield? Chevyville? Well, you're in that hellhole now. Oh yeah, I want to say one more thing about domestic abuse, domestic brutality. If you're a man and you ever hit a woman that's smaller than you and she can't fight back, and you know that you're a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. But then they want to goddamn have now is October is now not only breast cancer awareness month that they ignore men in, it's also domestic abuse awareness month. And you have women's groups specifically making that about women. And here lies the problem. It's not just women that get abused. You have gay men who may be abused by other gay men. You have transgender people who are becoming female that might be abused by men, or who knows, maybe women. You have straight men who are being abused by women, straight women. What was that movie back in the 80s where this crazy bitch, he had sex with her, and then she takes the family pet, his little girl's pet or child's pet, takes a rabbit and throws it in boiling water, you know, and it's this crazy fucking cut. And then all the women are like, yeah, well, that'll teach you to sleep around. And it's like, I mean, Bill Burr, who I don't always agree with, but even he defended genital mutilation, by the way, but even he said, it's like, you're mad at the guy because he cheated on the wife, and that was a scumbag move. But am I the only one that remembers this bitch throw a rabbit in boiling water? And it's like, that there are situations like that where you have some crazy bitch stalking some dude. And then you have women who are abused by asshole men. And for that matter, by lesbian women, and whatever other situation you could come up with, any situation where abuse could or domestic violence could happen, you're gonna have that. But at the end of the fucking day, it's not just a fucking situation where it's just freaking men abusing women, because that's attacking all men and painting them with a broad brush, and you're also hurting women by making them all into victims and acting like they have no agency. That's a bunch of shit. And by the way, what are they doing? Lighting a tree or a candle? I forget what it was. How does that actually do anything to stop domestic abuse against women or anyone? It doesn't. It's just like Anita Sarkeesian took thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to make a fucking bunch of YouTube videos. She made about 2 and ran out with the rest of the money. Wow, what a goddamn hero. So that's bullshit. But that's all. P666.